All right, everybody. So we are here to recap this Lions 24-6 win over the Indianapolis Colts, moving to 10-1 on the season, and also preview this Lions Bears matchup. Before we get into any of that, man, give a shout out to BetUS YouTube 150. That is the promo code to get a 150% deposit match on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% deposit match on your next two deposits with that code YouTube 150. Over here on the BetU website, it's a big week for football. It's Thanksgiving football this week. And I'm looking at these NFL odds and lines, and this Lions one has been moving like crazy since it's been dropped. Now it's at 9.5. I've seen this thing on certain places drop down to 7.5. So depending on where you're looking, it's a super interesting line. The over-under has actually dropped by a point within a day that I've been keeping my eye on it. The money line is crazy, minus 505. So I think this is a super interesting line. I think the safest bet out of all of these lines right here for the Lions is the over at 47.5 points. They seem to always jump on the over. So I would bet on the over for the Lions. And let's not do 5. Let's go with the 20 piece because we can make 18-18 if we place the $20 bet. I think the Lions go over 47.5 points in this game. Even though the Bears typically very good on the defense side of the ball, Lions been very good on the defense side of the ball. We seem to go over. Being indoors, Thanksgiving, we're going to put up more than 47.5 points. So BetUS, YouTube 150. Now let's get into this recap of this Lions-Colts game. This Lions-Colts game was, to me, kind of a great example of what the Lions have been all season long. Like, if you asked what the Lions were this season, you're like, put it into one game, I think it would be this Lions-Colts game. Defensively, they were once again fantastic against the pass. Anthony Richardson was incredibly inconsistent, 11 for 28 in this game, but that has kind of been the thing with Anthony Richardson so far this year is that he is a vertical passer. It's a vertical passing offense, and you have to make him live in throwing the ball underneath. And I thought the Lions did a fantastic job situationally in pass defense in this game. Some of their palms looks to take away the middle of the field like they did situationally, took away Michael Pittman over the middle of the field was fantastic. They were very good situationally. Now, we did get beat over the top a few times, but that was bound to happen against this team because they're going to have so many opportunities. They're going to take so many chances over top that that's just going to happen when you play this Colts offense. But the Lions really never let two of those plays happen within the same drive, and they've continued to be really good in the red area. No touchdowns once again, getting stops, third down stops, fourth down stops, and not letting teams get into the end zone. Because that first drive for the Indianapolis Colts, it looked like they had something that utilized Anthony Richardson's legs, and they found some real success by what they did schematically. But when it came down to situationally and having a really good plan, Aaron Glenn knocked it out of the park once again. They held Jonathan Taylor from having really any kind of success in this game, rushing 11 for 35. Their success came from their creativity and what they do schematically to run the football into this game. And then on the offensive side of the ball for the Lions, I thought this was one of the best Jahmyr Gibbs games that I have seen. And the Lions leaned heavy Gibbs. I mean, think about this. This is usually like an even disparity between the two. 21 carries to Monty's 8. Now, again, Monty was banged up in this game, so they kind of had to lean to him at the very end as well. But I thought Jahmyr Gibbs played one of his best games in Lions. The stat line's not going to blow you away. 4.3 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, 90 yards. It's very solid. But the vision, the pacing, and the way that he's really playing to his strengths much better than just like, I got to run as fast as I can. He's doing a nice job in his discipline as a zone rusher. Now at this point, pressing gaps, playing off of that. He's always been very good in kind of the power and the gap scheme. I think Jahmyr Gibbs had a fantastic game. And for Jared Goff, to me, this was a masterclass from the coaching staff. I mean, offensively in this game, Ben Johnson was on it. He had to make some adjustments at times, and it was not perfect. But I thought they did a fantastic job in-game adjustments, same drive adjustments, finding answers. And toward the end, probably the favorite thing that I saw offensively was the way that the Lions were able to see Indianapolis reverting more to their cover 3 defense, which they typically play, and find answers on the outside, whether that was a St. Brown hitch, a deep comeback route from Jamison Williams, finding ways to win outside on the numbers. We are getting those one-on-one matchups against two young cornerbacks, which in the past they haven't always been able to do that. That's going to be heavily tested this next week against the Chicago Bears, who also play that coverage as well. But I thought this was a great job. They didn't try to do too much offensively. They ran the ball well, and they also leaned into a lot of the screen usage, taking what the defense was going to give them and the way that they were kind of playing us defensively. They were really bailing out over the middle of the field, so we were like, fine, we'll just go right there with the football. And Goff was once again very efficient. He's also been utilizing his legs over the last few weeks against a couple of teams that haven't blitzed very often, and I think that's added a new wrinkle, a new element to this offense that we can kind of look forward to going forward as the teams that don't blitz a lot, which Chicago's another one of those. Goff being able to maneuver and find something down the field later has opened up another aspect of this offense. Tim Patrick has a lot to do with that, of course, and this was also the game of some of these new pieces in just new pieces in general with guys like Zadarius Smith, who played fantastic. He was really good against the run and limited snaps there. Very good in that spot. Once again, cooked as a pressure piece. He now has 8 pressures in 2 games as a Detroit Lion. So welcome home, Zadarius. You're home, man. It's great to have you here. Vikings, Packers, not your home. Lions, this is your home. And then also, it was a lot of those movements where Malcolm Rodriguez playing everywhere, playing Sam Backer in this game, performing well. DJ Reader, new addition this offseason, was really good in this game. I mean, this was a shaky O-line because of their injuries, unfortunately, but DJ Reader took full advantage of that, and Jack Campbell had one of the most impressive games that I think we've ever seen from Jack Campbell as a Lion when watching the game live, specifically in coverage, but also the things he went above and beyond with as the game rolled along. So again, this was a Lions game. It was run the football. It was very good defensively, situationally, and taking care of the football as well outside of the one fumble, which we also did recover. But this was, if you were going to try to say what has the Lions season looked like, it's looked like this game, which is great because this has been very consistent for the Lions. On to this Chicago Bears game, Thanksgiving football, man. The Lions have their hands full with this game. I mean, this is not a team that has a ton of wins, but we've seen over the last few weeks the competitiveness that they've had against both the Packers and the Vikings, and this has typically been a really tough matchup for the Lions, especially now knowing that Taylor Decker is going to be out for this game. That changes a lot for the Lions. Also, no Carlton Davis. The positive is looks like Terrion Arnold is going to play, so he'll probably be opposite of Kendall Vildor. Maybe we'll even get to see a little bit of Emmanuel Mosley in this game, which would be kind of fun. But this is going to be tough without Taylor Decker because he not only does so much for pass protection, a team that blitzes at a below average rate but still creates a lot of pressure, you lose that aspect, but now you also lose a lot of what he means to you in the run game. And this is a team that I think you can be very successful with the outside runs, the stretch runs. I think you can get up to their linebackers. So when you take out one of your key cogs as an offensive tackle that really jumpstarts all of that, it shakes a lot of things. And also, Dan Skipper and pass protection, we'll have to see how that kind of shake. I don't know, maybe they put Graham Glasgow at left tackle again like they did for a snap. I don't expect that, but maybe. The point is, though, the Lions offensively in this game, this has not been a great Bears defense. I think you can get to the second level. I think you can find real success on the interior. I like the Lions matchups with guys like Jervon Dexter, who I think is a circle like key. That's a player to watch, as well as DeMarcus Walker as their defensive end. I think those two guys really keys to watch. You can have success with the power scheme. You can get off of these defensive tackles. You can block down. You can get up to the second level on these guys. And then, of course, in coverage, what we've seen is typically against us get a lot more of that single high coverage, but we're getting a nice mix of that, cover 3, cover 4 from this defense. I don't think Jalen Johnson, has had the best season so far, their cornerback. I'm very intrigued to see that matchup. I think St. Brown potentially could get that a few times. I think the Lions will go very heavy personnel to see if Chicago is willing to match personnel, but specifically, it's going to see probably some Jamison Williams. And I want to see how he handles that because this feels like it's kind of like it's your time now, right? Like this was the year coming in where it was like, it's time for you to take that next step and be that guy for us outside. And we've now seen it in spots and over the last few weeks. Really this season, he's been very productive. It might be that time where it's like, go beat that guy over there. Go beat that big money cornerback that they have. And I'm excited to see Jamison Williams do that in this game. I mean, this is a sound coverage. They do a nice job of really bracketing in hash mark to hash mark. And then you get into some danger zone when you have to deal with guys like Kyler Gordon out wide, working the flats, kind of roaming there. They are, with Jonathan Owens at safety, I think can be a little bit questionable at that spot a little bit. But they're aggressive with their secondary. They play aggressively defensively. It opens up some shot opportunities, but they do a nice job of keeping things in front of them and making you work back underneath and hold on to the football as a quarterback. On the flip side of things, for the Lions defensively in this game, this is a Bears offense. DeAndre Swift, he'll be fired up for this matchup. I'm sure he'll be fired up for this. But this is an offensive line with Pryor at right guard that seems like they've kind of figured it out a little bit with their offense. And I think what I take away is Thomas Brown now is the OC for the Bears. It gives me vibes, not everything the same, of Caleb Williams of when Jared Goff was with the LA Rams and Thomas Brown was there, not the offensive coordinator, but it gives me vibes of that where they've done a really nice job of making it decisive for Caleb Williams. Like, here's the concept, let it rip. And he's made some ridiculous throws, tight window throws, and he's also made some reads that are like, that wasn't open, but he still threw it. And he's very willing to let it happen, of course, what he can do off script. And you see it like when he is blitzed so far this season, he's been fantastic. So I don't even know if that's like the best outlet as a defense, because I think the issue that comes to play is when you have more guys in coverage and that concept isn't there, it feels like an offense where it's like, hey, get to this, we're going to run some flood, we'll hit the seams. And if it's not there, we have a check down on the backside. It's like, let's get right to that. What is this, a whip route from your tight end, which the Rams used to do with Goff, or maybe it's a backside screen. Like, it feels like that's who they are offensively. So it doesn't feel like the most diverse passing attack where you're going to get bam, 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 unless it's a broken play. But what you will get is a decisiveness, big-time passer that can absolutely throw the ball across the field, and obviously what he could do with his legs. So Lions are going to be challenged, especially without Carlton Davis, which really stinks against a really good receiving core. Keenan Allen's kind of felt like a really good outlet for them recently, and Rome Odunze with some of the creativity that they've used, the receivers kind of in the run game or these RPO screens, I think they've done a nice job making more clarity for Caleb Williams. So I think the Lions will probably be aggressive on early downs. They know they have to stop the run. They have to get them in the spots where, hey, if it's third and long and some of these concepts don't work to get us there, they can have problems. They've been a very bad third down offense so far this season, and they've been a little bit inconsistent, I think, passing the ball on second downs. But at the same time, when you're banged up at cornerback, the Lions may lean a little bit more too high. I think it's going to be big on our safety this game to show that flexibility, show the diversity to move around. Amik Robertson, a little bit of disguise in the back end. But this feels like an old school, who's going to run the ball better and who's going to shut down the run. It feels like that in this game. And the weird thing is, as good as Chicago's been turnover differential this season, they're 4-7, which is not normal. So that's a team that can definitely play the right way, and there's a reason they've been so competitive over the last few weeks with the Packers and the Vikings. I thought this would be the toughest matchup for the Lions coming into the season. I think on the way out, this is going to be one of the toughest teams that we're going to play for the rest of the season, even though our schedule is very tough. So I look forward to this. I think this game means a ton. To get a win with Dan Campbell and Goff on the same team as a Lion, it'd be fantastic to see that on Thanksgiving, this holiday for the Lions football. I think it's a huge game, and it also matters so much because this NFC North just won't go away. So I'm fired up for this one. I think the Lions have a lot that they can prove to themselves in this game, and I know the Bears just want to spoil us. They just want to spoil, man. They just want to beat us. They want to make us sad on Thanksgiving, but it's not going to happen. The Lions are going to handle business. Let's stop playing, okay? I mean, we can talk all we want here. Let's just stop playing, Bears fans. You know what time it is, okay? What are we talking about? You guys know what time it is. It's the Lions time, okay? That's what time it is. But I'm fired up for this game, man. Appreciate y'all watching this. I don't know where this is going. Is it going to another segment? Is it over now? I'm not sure. But I'll tell you this. Shout out to BetUS YouTube 150. That is the code to get 150% deposit match. Thank you all for tuning in to my segment to talk recap and preview. And I will see you guys next week on the Roundtable. I'm out.